Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are all doing great. If you're new here, my name is Dana. I am a wife of 11 years, and then I have 4 little ones. I have a 7, a 5, a 3, and then a 1-year-old. And on my channel, I love sharing our homeschooling journey, simple living, motherhood, and everything in between. But if that is something that interests you, I'd love to have you join our family, and you can do so by subscribing down below. So for August, we ended up starting our homeschool in the middle of August, and I honestly do this every single year where I start in August, and it does take a few weeks honestly to get all of the things ironed out and things worked out as far as what our rhythm and our routines are going to look like. So I never really start full-time until September, which we are well now into September now. By the time you see this, it will be very much into September. And I always question myself, like, why do I start in August if we don't really start full-time until September? And then I always remind myself, I'm like, no, because if I were to start full-time or to start homeschool in September, then I probably wouldn't be able to jump full on into it until October by the time all the things are ironed out and everything, if you know what I mean. So I am really glad actually that we do start a little bit earlier. I know growing up, I was homeschooled K through 12 if you're new here, and growing up we didn't start until after Labor Day. It was like the day after Labor Day is typically when we would start. And so with my kiddos, I always had that same mentality of we'll start in September full time, and I'm actually really thankful that we do start a little bit earlier, like pushing it back a few weeks, because by the time September comes, we normally have a good flow to everything. So to start off our homeschooling season, this has actually been our smoothest start to the year so far. We had such a beautiful first day of homeschool, and I think that is also because we didn't take 100% off in the summer. We were still doing some light reading, so when we actually had our first day of school, it was really just adding in one more extra subject. If you saw my 2023-24 kind of homeschool routines and schedule video, then you'll know that I'm only doing 2 formal subjects a day, and then we're adding in 5 in a row in the afternoons as time allows. So I did want to mention the big thing that I did not foresee, and that I did not foresee having to change or tweak a little bit, and that is that schedule I just mentioned. I had it scheduled kind of to double up lessons and then to rotate, so I was only going to be doing 4 lessons or 5 days worth of work in my eyes, I guess, worth of schoolwork, and I have not been able to do that. I honestly have not. I've only done 1 full week of following that schedule to the day and to the lesson, and I loved that week because it worked beautifully. And the reason why I'm going to be transparent and say it hasn't worked is just honestly in our personal lives, as far as just things that we have to do or completing outside of the home have just been very busy, much busier than I was anticipating at this time of year. If you saw a couple videos ago by now, you will have seen, and I touched lightly on it, that we are in the middle of doing a renovation project for one of our rental units, and so all of the free time has been going into that, for my husband anyway, because he's the one doing the renovations. And then we've been working on kind of just gathering everything, because we're going to be leasing them for midterm. So we've kind of been just gathering everything in our free time, trying to find everything to furnish those places, on top of preparing just for some other renovation projects coming. And so it's just been really busy outside of the home. It really has. Much busier again than I would like to be, especially when we're starting our homeschool year. So I do not foresee us actually sticking to our schedule that I had mentioned that we'd be doing until at least October. Lord willing, by October we'll be able to start that month with doing 5 days a week, or I should say 4 days, with that 5 being extra. But the reason why I'm sharing this is actually, instead of doing our full day on Monday, I'm actually just putting it at the very end of the week, which is on Saturday. So Saturday is actually right now our biggest homeschool day, which is crazy because I never thought that I would typically have my biggest learning day be on Saturday, but the Saturday is when we do all of the subjects, because Monday we're only able to do maybe 1 because of all the things that we have to do outside of the home. So we really kind of incorporated Saturday, and we actually look forward to Saturday because that is a day that we are pretty strict with ourselves as far as not going anywhere. We prefer to just be home all day. And so that is the day where I do catch up on all the extra lessons. We do 5 in a row and things like that. And typically we are only out a couple of days a week anyway, but it's still incredible to me how you can only be out for so many days, but it can still get busy and life can still sneak in and get really busy, especially when you have projects outside of the home. So that's been something that I did not foresee as far as when I was creating the schedule. I was like, yeah, it'll be totally doable, and it is when we don't have another priority over here. So I'm trying to juggle making sure I have my priorities straight by the day, because there's a lot of important priorities, and I talk about that a lot in my channel, at least recently, and figuring out like which ones to juggle and which ones to do. So anyway, that's probably the biggest thing that I've had to kind of change and tweak a little bit when it comes to our homeschool year so far, is instead of Tuesday being our biggest day, it's now Saturdays. So then honestly, that's one of the biggest blessings of homeschooling, is when other priorities kind of have to take a hold for a month or so, you can still make it work. So I'm very thankful for that, but that is a big change as far as that homeschool schedule thing goes. So when it comes to what I'm struggling with right now, and I honestly knew that I would be struggling with this before we even started school, and that is just the, I don't know how to say this, just the, I guess, yeah, overall struggle of balancing the baby and the toddler while trying to actively teach. And I'm trying to figure out the best ways to make that work without it being like stressful, to be honest, because sometimes those moments can be really stressful. So just overall juggling that. I think one of the things, do you want to come see mommy? Hi. Hello. Hello. You want to swing? So right now I'm just trying to juggle that side of things while also not like stressing out about it too much either. So that's definitely been a trial and error thing this time around for our homeschool. Another thing that I am doing differently this year that I didn't do as much as I should have last year, and that is being very consistent, and I almost require like 5-10 minute breaks now in between subjects, and honestly even between, like for example, our Christian Light Education reading program. Before we read his actual reader, we will take a break from doing his actual workbook to his reader and then things like that. We are only doing 2 formal subjects a day, so that's great. But even between the 2 lessons, because the curriculum is a little bit workbook heavy, I have learned that really doing those 5-10 minute breaks has been incredible, not just for their attention span, but for me as well. Because during their breaks, I can easily go to my toddler, get my baby, get them more snacks, snacks for the win, all the time. So get them another snack, keep them happy. That's when I will work on maybe some like speech games with my 3-year-old and things like that. So really that 5-10 minute break not only benefits them, it gets other wiggles out, it gets them an opportunity to just jump up and play, get some water, get a snack if they want to. And it just gives them so much freedom and flexibility when they do know that they're going to have a 5-10 minute break pretty much every 10 to 15 minutes, honestly. In the little years, I don't really require them to like sit down at the table or wherever we are homeschooling for the day. I don't really require them to sit down for any like long amounts of time. It really is just that 15-20 minutes, and then we'll take a 5-10 minute break. You didn't wind down yet? Okay, that's okay. So that's honestly been one of the biggest game changers this season, is actually requiring everybody to take that 5 to 10 minute break every 20 minutes. So, and again, it makes sure it really does just keep everyone happy and content. So we have been loving that. That's honestly the biggest thing that I have added in / changed. And the thing is, as a mama, sometimes I can have a lot of things to do on my to-do list. And for me, the biggest thing about giving breaks and giving myself a break during subjects is it very easily will add on an extra half an hour, sometimes 45 minutes, because if I am getting involved with a game with my toddler, then are they playing with water? Then we'll extend that break, and my little ones, my 1st and 2nd grader, adore it when I am like extending the break because I'm playing with like the baby or toddler. So it is what it is. But one of the things I've learned is with that as well is it requires a lot of patience on my side of things, because I'm not able to get done all of our book work within an hour and a half to 2 hours. And for our actual sit down time, it never takes us more than probably an hour, 20 minutes, an hour and a half at the most when it comes to accomplishing the actual book work. It really does not take long at all. I'm watching the kiddos spray each other with a hose. They're at the mercy of my 2-year-old right now. So right now our school days kind of end around 1:30. Ideally, like in an ideal situation, I would love to have them end around lunchtime. That would be our time to like wind down from school and then move on with the rest of the day. However, I also think it's just really important for them to just get their breaks and then to have a more relaxing and less stressful homeschooling experience, just because with the baby and the toddler and everything, and just have the opportunity be memory building and not want to stress, if that makes sense. So that's kind of where my mind is at right now when it comes to, yes, it does take longer, but it is a more beautiful experience for honestly the entire family when there's not that stress of just trying to get it done, but really just taking the breaks, enjoying being together, And even though we don't get done till later in the day, that's perfectly fine. Anyway, that's how our homeschool has kind of been overall, and some of the changes that we've made, some things have switched around. Lord willing, like I said earlier, we'll be able to stick to our actual schedule probably in October, but we will see. Again, I'm not stressed out about it. Oh, this is the other thing that I don't think I mentioned before on my channel, and I don't know if this part made it into my last video. So I'll go ahead and talk about it now. That is our actual overall schedule as far as how we're going to be doing our homeschool overall big picture. I know a lot of you guys have actually asked me, and I keep saying I'm going to address it in a video, but I always forget. So I need to honestly go through my comments and do like a Q&A from my comment section. Let me know if you guys would want to watch that, because I have a lot of questions that I always am responding with hello, and that is what our actual overall big picture looks like for our homeschool. And we are actually doing a very hello, you have a good idea? Oh, did the water get you? Oh, thank you. So we are doing a very light version of homeschooling year-round this year. But what I am doing differently, and that I am so excited to be doing, again, this is my first time doing it this way, and that is I'm going to be doing a schedule that is 6 weeks on, 1 week off, and then with the long Christmas break and then the long summer break. The reason why I'm doing it this way is it's going to give me the opportunity to have the full 6 weeks of like the busyness of the homeschooling, the homemaking, and just that busy season of life in general. It's going to give me the opportunity then to not have to worry about accomplishing the big projects in the middle of that 6 weeks. And 6 weeks is honestly going to fly by. It just flies by incredibly fast right now, especially in the little years. It's just, I'm always amazed at, hi honey, I'm always amazed at how fast time flies. One of my favorite things about doing it this way is I know that those bigger projects of life, whether it be switching wardrobes around and prepping for the new season and things like that, is I know that I'm not going to have to worry about doing that during that 6 week, like just intentional. My main priority is homeschooling my little people, because I know that shortly will be a season or a week where I'm going to be able to accomplish those bigger projects. If I try to do all the homeschooling things, all the homemaking things, and I have all these priorities during an actual season, then I'll just be overwhelmed, and the other priority things won't get done. But if they do get done during the busy homeschooling season, it will just be like an added stress. And so I'm trying to remove that, and then so having the schedule where 6 weeks on, 1 week off kind of removes that for me personally as a mama, because I know that I'm going to have a week every 6 weeks where I am again going to be able to do those bigger home projects. I'm going to be able to get some either bigger work projects done, and that's when we'll plan either our family weekend trips. Is that every 6 weeks we have that whole week where we don't do anything other than, and this is like my disclaimer, other than if we have had to have a day off here or there with other schooling, then we can catch up on the subjects on during that the 7th week, I should say. So that's actually what we're going to be doing this year. I am so excited to be able to do something a little bit different. Yes, baby. Hi. What'd you find? A flower? So yes, I am definitely, you want to play with it? I am definitely looking forward to trying the schedule out. I've never done it before, and so, but again, it is a little bit of a year-round type schooling because we are taking that full week off. Well, my husband just got home. We are going to go say hello to him and see how his day was. Yes. Want to go see Daddy? Yeah. Yep. Okay, let's go see Daddy. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.